Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mugdha Lele, and on behalf of the TechX.in team at Venture Center, I'm happy to host the third wave of our Only One Theme awareness talk series on innovation management. I welcome you all to the ninth talk in this wave of Only One Theme. Today's topic is a very interesting topic which focuses around only geographical indications. And our speaker for today is Professor Advocate Ganesh Hingmire. Let me briefly introduce him before we begin the talk. Professor Hingmire is a renowned IT expert and the winner of two consecutive Intellectual Property Awards, 2015 and 2016. He heads the IPR Council at Chamber India and advises at Baramati Incubation Center and NIT Jalandhar. He is a board member at Pune University and a council member at Deccan Education Society. With an LLM from UK, LLB from ILS College and MPhil in economics and a science degree, he has trained at Japan Patent Office, IIT Kanpur and NICAIR. Since 2002, he has supported industries with IPR registrations and delivered over 1,200 sessions at prestigious institutions. He founded the Great Mission Group Consultancy dedicated to IPR promotion and protection. Professor Hingmire has authored 5 books, which includes Student's Guide to IPR and A Tale of GI in India, and has published over 250 articles in the GI domain. He has been interviewed by most news channels in Maharashtra, which focus on raising IPR awareness among farmers and aspirants. He also has started a YouTube channel for broader outreach. He has attended 7 WTO ministerial conferences and several of position papers on GI issues and food insecurities, and which have been published on the WTO website. He has worked on 95 GIs with over 63 being accepted and registered. And he was just telling us by the end of Jan, he and his team will be filing 5 more GIs, and this number will then touch a century. His contribution to registering agricultural geographical indications in India is nearly 25% of the total GIs registered, which places Maharashtra at the top of the table. Professor Hingmire, with this brief introduction, welcoming you to the session and handing over the session to you. Are you able to share your screen? Unmute him.
Unmute him, maybe. Yeah, just see.
Professor Hingmire, you can unmute yourself first.
Whether my screen
we
is...
can hear you. Hear you
Yes.
now.
We can
It's
hear
not
you.
full screen yet. If you want to
Yeah.
go full screen.
Yeah,
Now,
Is
yes.
it visible now?
Yes, yes.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I must say thank to organizer Premnath sir, Lily madam, and Venture Center. I have had a long association with them. We began in 2007. Thanks for an opportunity to take the most important intellectual property, but unfortunately remain untapped or neglected intellectual property called geographical indications. We gave a title called as a culture and entrepreneurships because I personally believe in today's challenging world on the AI, particularly GI will help to survive, not only survive, but to prosper. So with this, a very quick look at our revolutions, which we began for the GI in 2003 through motivation from the Abdul Kalam sir. I was the first GI agent in 2005 in India immediately after this. This was our milestone when we have celebrated Azadi Ka Amrut Mahotsav with 75 GIs, and it has been covered by various. Our GI registration started in 2007 first with Puneri Pagdi, and we are going to share this success story because I personally feel the session to be divided into 3 parts. First, what we did it. Second, how we did it. And third, what is an impact. And the fourth, basically the last part, the concluding part would be what we need to do at India India perspective. So this is how we began with Puneri Pagdi, and now almost covered 34 districts from the Maharashtra with 54 GI applications. And I remembered we in Venture Center we have displayed our Puneri Pagdi and other GIs long back. This was another GI map from our side for particularly Bodoland, and we work for 21 GIs in all our tribal GIs. I'm going to talk about the impact of the GI, but before that, I'll also spend about the what is a GI, different types of GI, then registration process as and when it required, and then of course we will also discuss the challenges which are basically there for the GI registration. So with this Maharashtra GI map our end, Bodoland GI map our end, we also protected the border, India's border with GIs. These are the different GIs where we have protected at the border from Jammu Kashmir to West Bengal. Now coming to the GI. With this very precise introductions, I would like to touch to the subject for today's session, the geographical indication. I said most important intellectual property, right? But unfortunately remained most neglected intellectual property in India. The the act pertaining to the law pertaining to the GI was introduced in 1999, came into force in 2001, and the first GI was registered was a Darjeeling tea. You will see on the right hand side there is a Darjeeling tea logo. So this intellectual property called communities intellectual property right introduced in India almost 24 years ago, but the registration, the total GI registration remained unsatisfactory, not up to the mark, what we can say. However, let's start with the geographical indication understanding. So you can see there are different features, Mahabaleshwar strawberry, then you will find the Feni picture is there, and on the right side, you will also find the Darjeeling tea. These are the well-known products. Actually, these products are connected, or basically you can see there is a geographical significance for this product, and hence they got an intellectual property called geographical indication. These products are attributed to the geographical locations. That's why they are the geographical indication. Those are unique product, those are famous product, those are you can say exclusive product, and they enjoy the exclusivity, monopoly, and hence they receive the geographical indication. We know that intellectual property right, the concept, if you understand intellectual property, the property which is created by intellect, and the rights granted by laws are intellectual property right, that we know very well. Now how it connected to this community's intellectual property right? Let me put in a bit different way, a very simple understanding what we normally use to explain the GI. GI is nothing but our forefathers' patent. They have identified a proper place where they can get the unique product, which is exclusive, which is exceptional, which is having the unique characteristics, and they have identified that place, they have produced that product, or they have cultivated that product, then that product became a famous and created a niche identity in the market. And that's why we say our GI is nothing but our forefathers' patent. Of course, we cannot apply the definition or understanding of the patent as it is for the GI. However, like a layman understanding the exclusivity which the product enjoys is connecting that a particularly place. So these are the different unique product which enjoy reputation, which are exclusive, and they are entitled to get a special status. That's why the status called geographical indication that is that has been granted to these different products. So we know Goa Feni. We are going to talk about that, the different categories and how Goa Feni fit into the category of the geographical indication. How Mahabaleshwar strawberry got the GI for the particular place, and how Darjeeling also got this. So these are the basic introductory remarks about the GI. GI is community's intellectual property right. GI is granted to specific product, unique product attributed to that particular geographical location. That is what the geographical indication introduces. Now, how, or rather why we have to understand the GI? Of course, there are n number of benefit for intellectual property right, but for communities intellectual property right, there are much more benefit you will find if they receive the intellectual property right. Once the community's unique product received an intellectual property right called geographical indication, it will lead to the premium price. That you will find particularly, or major GIs are from the rural areas. So if you get, say for an example, I'm saying Wagya Ghevda from the Satara district, there is a place called Koregaon and adjacent taluka called Khata. We got the GI for the Wagya Ghevda. After getting the GI, the production reached to the 3 times. But at the same time, when we work for the GI, we found the productions, I mean, before the GI reduced to 10% only. So after the GI, again 3 times. So what had happened to this taluka, this village, after the getting the quality tag called a geographical indication, the demand increased. According to the production increase, according to the rural economy became more, strengthened on certain aspects. So that there you will find the equation GI is leading to the premium price, is leading to the rural economy strengthening, and ultimately there will be an improvement, livelihoods, improvement of the rural people, rural area, and more specific, you can say either farmers or artisans. Basically, GI can be granted only to community as we discussed. So it may be a farmer community, it may be an artisans, it may be weavers. Those are using their skill and creating unique products. So they enjoy a certain exclusivity in the form of quality tag called geographical indication. And there you will find that ultimately GI is helping the economy, and more specific, helping the rural economy. With this, let me take you to the global scenario on geographical indication. As I said in the beginning itself, I am repeatedly saying third time that in India, the GI remained unfortunately untapped intellectual property right. If you see in China, they have more than 10,000 GI registered in force. Actually, if you see the recent figure, you'll find 11,000 plus GI applied there in China, and more than 9,700 GIs are in force in China. However, in India, the figure is very less as compared to our neighboring countries called China. Even after 24 years, the figure, the India's GI registration is not yet touched to the 1,000 number. However, if you see UK, even UK, they may have 5,000 plus GIs. So that's the scenario. And I must say thank to the organizers for taking this subject to the masses, to a different level, like and then hence it will help definitely to GI to take it to the next step. If you further see the European Union, the total number of European Union, the GI registered at European Union is more than 60,000, whereas we have hardly 600, around 643 registration has been done so far. And if you further divide that only Indian, then those are less than 600. So where we are, in European Union, we have 60,000. In China, we have 10,000 plus. But in India, we have not yet to the 1,000 figure. There are n number of reasons: lack of awareness, and lots of efforts are required, documentation, historical evidences in support of the GI, of course, and then scientific support also in support of the uniqueness. But that can be overcome. That's not a big deal nowadays, because many incubation centers are established, however not supported to the GI. But I'm very positive that after this session there may be a lot of opportunities for the producers from the GI region to get the support from the incubation and this various labs in India. Again, global scenario. How much is the percentage for the GI, particularly in wine and spirit? We all know famous alcoholic beverages like a champagne and Scotch whiskey. They got the GI and they become famous worldwide. So champagne from France, Scotch whiskey from Scotland. Likewise, there are many wine and spirit, and the percentage of the total GI registration, if you see that, it's around 48% in European Union. Agricultural products, they are also protected very nicely under the GI regime. It's around 44%, but they have very less number of handicrafts like what we have, various saris, various, basically handicrafts. In India, that scenario is altogether different. In European Union, wine and spirit is on top level for getting the geographical indications. Now, coming to the benefit, considering the time, we have 45 minutes to discuss. I will only touch upon the various aspects. So I begin with our revolution, how we began in 2003 for the GI revolution, GI work, and where we reached. And then we immediately shifted to the international scenario about the GI. In between, we discussed about the GI as an intellectual property, right? Now, coming to the benefit, what European Union received. During the pandemic, the GI sale value in European Union was 75 billion euros. Out of that, you will find almost 15 billion euros they have generated through exporting their GI products. So, unfortunately, again, there was a news in India, the highest number of Scotch whiskey exported to the India. So, and no one can manufacture that Scotch whiskey in India, because Scotch whiskey is intellectual property, is a geographical indication from the Scotland. So you will further find more than 70% of the total productions of the Scotch whiskey and the champagnes are exported worldwide. Why? And no one can manufacture that. Why? Because of the geographical indication status, because of the community's intellectual property right called geographical indication granted to the Scotch whiskey as well as to champagne. And you can see here, during pandemic also, they have a big sell value of the GI. And why can't we do that in India? And of course, this revolution has been revolving around, and now it will reach to the next. That's the great mission we began for the geographical indication. So this scenario need to be changed, or rather we need to adopt certain kind of a policy to promote the GI and to take the benefit to the communities. Now, coming to the legal aspect on a geographical indication, here is the simple understanding about the GI. GI is nothing but the quality tag. GI can be granted based on various aspects, including the geographical significance, historical evidences, and scientific support. So based on these three aspects, the intellectual property has been issued to proprietor, called a registered proprietor, the applicant who apply for the GI. That is the assurance of the quality indirectly, you can say. Here is, I gave you an example about the Mahabaleshwar strawberry, which I have registered in 2009. Then Darjeeling tea in India, that has been registered as a first GI in 2003. How many types of GI? As per the Indian scenario, you can see the geographical indication of Goods Act 1999 is concerned. The GI can be categorized into three parts. One is agricultural goods, second is a natural goods, and third is a manufactured goods. So ultimately, we know agriculture. It includes horticulture, etc., etc. Natural products, we are going to discuss. That example is Makarana marble. And in India, only we have registered 2 natural GIs. Manufactured goods includes your textile, your handicraft, headgears, etc., etc. We are going to talk about that. So first, about the GI we discuss as a community's intellectual property right. Second, we discuss about the different categories of the GI as per the GI Act is concerned. Now let us understand one by one GI, how it has been received as a status, as a GI status. So I have had an opportunity to work for the highest agriculture GI. So let me explain the Mahabaleshwar strawberry, because we all might have tested Mahabaleshwar strawberry. We might have visited Mahabaleshwar to test the strawberry. And now there is a big agrotourism established there in Mahabaleshwar, and no one, what you can say, no one might have left Mahabaleshwar without testing the strawberry over there. So when we work for this product, what we have gathered and how we have received the geographical indication in a practical sense. First of all, what is an essential requirement? As I mentioned, 3 essential requirements: scientific support, historical evidences, and geographical significance. So let us start with one by one. Geographical significance for the Mahabaleshwar, you will find it's a hill station. There is a red laterite soil, and then you will find the heavy rainfall is there. Because of this unique geographical significance, our forefather found the strawberry is the most suitable product to cultivate, to produce in that particular region, and they began. And fortunately, that product became a famous, got certain uniqueness, and then that helped us to get the GI. What is the uniqueness which we took to the GI registration? The uniqueness, you will find seeds outside the fruits. In Mahabaleshwar, you will find 200 seeds outside the fruits. However, in other part of an India, you will only find 160 seeds outside the fruits. What does it mean? 20% extra nutritional value naturally you will find in the strawberry from the Mahabaleshwar. So that is the comparison we have identified. Further, because of the red laterite soil, we found the more iron content also naturally available in the Mahabaleshwar strawberry. And third, I mentioned about the heavy rainfall. Because of the heavy rainfall, you will find the strawberry from the Mahabaleshwar is a juicy. So what does it mean? Additional benefit you get from this product, and that's the advantage we covered in our GI application and we received. So what, in other sense, if you have a unique agricultural product from particular place, you can get the GI for that product as per the GI Act in India is concerned. So there are 3 to 5 aspects need to understand to get the agricultural GI in India. Number 1, geographical significance, I mentioned. Number 2, uniqueness. I compared this strawberry with other strawberries. 200 seeds outside the fruits, for others 100 seeds. Third, of course, environment. I said hill station. This atmosphere is much suitable for the strawberry to cultivate. Then third, the fourth one, I mentioned the advantage, the natural advantage. What about the soil, etc. And the fifth one, the skill, the community, the farmer staying there in Mahabaleshwar. So they have utilized the available resources to produce a unique strawberry, and then that strawberry become a famous, tasty, juicy, unique, and receive the geographical indications. And I have had an opportunity to work this. The ultimate success of the strawberry, after the registration of the strawberry, we introduced in 2011 a strawberry Mahotsav. Every year from Good Friday, there is a Mahabaleshwar strawberry Mahotsav. Every year they celebrate and they they have a policy to welcome the tourists. They say you come to Mahabaleshwar, eat fresh strawberry as much as you wanted to eat. If person like me or you, if you are going from your place, maybe from Pune, Mumbai or Bangalore or other places, if we are going there to eat free fresh strawberry, ultimately we will stay for 2 to 3 days and we will not eat more than say 200 or 300 grams. So what does it mean? While coming back to our home, we will definitely purchase 5, 6, 7, 10 kgs for ourselves or our close one. So that a best model agrotourism introduced. What is an ultimate outcome of the GI registration or the agrotourism laid by the GI registration is the rural economy, the strengthening of the rural economy and further prosperity of the regions. I must tell you the most important success for the Mahabaleshwar strawberry after the GI registration, which was noted in India Today, covered a special article on that. It was talked about the 54 family remigrated to Mahabaleshwar to cultivate the strawberry. So we know that urbanization is the big issue. At the same time, remigration is required to balance the urbanization and ruralization, etc., etc. So here, GI made that possible. And hence, I see GI is not only an intellectual property, but it is a tool for prosperity. So after that agri-GI, let us understand another category of the GI called manufactured GI. Manufactured GI, they, as I mentioned, where you carried certain process. So either of the process is available of that particular product in that particular region. So the entire Goa region, you will find they have process of making of the feni, and that feni is a unique product from that particular entire state and hence receive the geographical indication. It further that manufactured goods further uh, also covered called textile handicraft. So like saris, particularly saris, Banarasi sari, Chanderi sari. I work for the Paithani saris, and you can also say Pashmina shawl from the Kashmir. All received the geographical indication as a manufactured good. So it may be textile goods, it may be handicraft good. Like I work for the headgear called Puneri Pagdi. That's a headgear. That's a handicraft, and also that is also covered under the category called manufactured goods as per the GI Act is concerned, broadly categorized as a manufactured goods. So this is second category of the GI. The third category is natural goods. So certain product enjoy uniqueness naturally from that soil. For an example, Makarana marble from the Rajasthan received the geographical indication. What is an advantage naturally available for this marble, which is used there, which is actually used hundreds of years in Taj Mahal and then later by the Britishers there in Victoria Palace. So that product enjoy more calcium carbonate content naturally, more than 98%. So it shines naturally, and that's the nature's gift, you can say, to lead to the natural goods as a unique, and hence such kind of products can also get the geographical indications, and Makarana marble receive the geographical indication as a natural goods. Thereafter, one more products received recently as a natural goods geographical indication. I personally work for the Gomukh Ganga Chal, not yet received the GI, but examination is already been done. Gomukh Ganga Jal enjoy also scientifically more significance, you can say. In scientist language, you can say 1100 bacteriophage is naturally available in Ganga Jal from the Gomukh. The Ganga Jal from the Gomukh enjoy 25 times more dissolved oxygen. So naturally, those that product is a unique. So if you have a naturally unique product also in your place, that can also receive the geographical indication as a third category to understand. Now, the registration process, these are all actually a techno-legal part. You file application, then there will be a formality check report. On basis, you'll have to reply to the GI registry. The GI registry is situated there in Chennai under the registrar of the GI. Registrar of the GI is nothing but the controller of patent. He is only working as a registrar of a GI. But in GI registry, assistant registrar or deputy registrar who heads the GI registry will function from the Chennai. So they receive the application. If they will issue the formality check report. Formality check report need to be replied, and then based on that, consultative group meeting will be arranged under the chairmanship of the registrar, and then the consultative group meeting will issue the examination report, their finding, they actually verify the statement of case, and then once your application is through, then it will be published, and then you will get the registration certificate. Actually, the process is similar to other intellectual property right, but little lengthy, and of course, you can say more intensive on front. What now? You got the GI. You got the GI. What does it mean? You got a legal protection. So if you receive this status called GI in for your Mahabaleshwar strawberry, and if you're not from the Mahabaleshwar and you are producing that strawberry there in Solapur, you will not able to use the name Mahabaleshwar strawberry to your products. What is that? Particularly, it's a legal protection as per the GI Act discuss. Further, since you get a GI, it's like a unique product. So it's attributed to various factors leading to the what you can say reputation, identity, specialty, and of course that creates the identity of the products. So it belongs to that particular region. So grapes from the Nasik, custard apple from the Bid, tea from the Darjeeling, and of course sari from from Banaras. So those are the actually create an identity for this product. It restrict the unauthorized users. So as I said, if someone is manufacturing or producing the strawberry there in Solapur, they will not able to use strawberry of Mahabaleshwar strawberry and etc. In fact, actually, not only in India, but also in abroad, the GI protection or GI enforcement, we can do that. That's what I said in the beginning. No one can manufacture Scotch whiskey in India because Scotch whiskey got the GI registration there in Scotland. And someone tried here in Maharashtra, but Scotch Whisky Association filed the case and restricted and enforced their right in India as well. Why they did it? The reason behind that, GI Act was enacted in India because of the TRIPS agreement of WTO. World Trade Organization, as we all know very well, 166 countries are member of WTO. We are committed to implement the policy and agreement under the WTO regime. It includes TRIPS agreement, trade-related aspects of intellectual property right. And where you'll find there are 3 articles, talks about the GI, and we enacted this GI Act suo motu. And because of that, we are entitled to get the protections of our product in other member countries, like what Scotch whiskey people as well as champagne producers are doing in India. Now, this aspect that the GI benefit, you can say, is need to understand in customer's perspective. If I ask you about, have you purchased the Paitani sari? Maybe 10 people say, oh yes, I have purchased. If I ask you the second question, have you purchased the original Paitani I normally found that only one or two people may raise an hand, say, oh, I only purchased the original patent sari. What does it mean? More than 80% consumer are not aware of about the genuine original products. So here, if you have a GI tag, there is a authority, there is provision, there is a benefit available to you that only and only you can use that name. And if someone is using, as I mentioned in the beginning, that okay, that is unauthorized use and be be enforced by the registered proprietor or authorized users. So here, a customer will be benefited with the genuine and original product if that product received the geographical indication tag, and customer can take an action against the illegal product, fake product, not genuine product, not GI product, but selling in the name of the GI. So that is the benefit. We also discuss about the agrotourism, but let me talk about the export also. If you, I have already mentioned about the Scotch whiskey and champagne. They've been exporting to the many countries. At the same time, Darjeeling tea, after the getting the GI, now available in more than 60 countries. Not only Darjeeling tea, but many a GI product from India now received good international market. And that is where you can say a connection of the WTO. It's a platform to other member countries. It's an opportunity to take your original product to the other member countries. It's a facility for your GI product to get a global market. So that's how the benefit includes to the customer, to tourists, to international community, and ultimately, if you export your genuine product, the nation will be also benefited with foreign exchange. So that's how the multiple benefits you will find for the GI. What are the particulars as per the GI Act is concerned? These are the particular. You can find applicants, actually the association of person, like if you are a farmer from this Mahabaleshwar, then you will be only applicant. That means you have to form an association and you can be an applicant to file an application for your strawberry. So that's the concern. I have already mentioned about the goods. It may be natural, it may be manufactured, it may be agriculture. Specification, what I mentioned about the seeds, colors, and etc. need to be covered. Proof of origin. So here, when I work for the Pune Pagdi, I have collected the evidence from hundreds of years ago, used by the Lokmanya Tilak ji, and also used by the freedom fighter, various places by the Pune Pagdi, how it has been manufactured, and etc. etc. Uniqueness are differed as per the products are differed. I work for the various non-basmati aromatic rice. So uniqueness of non-basmati aromatic rice was a 2-acetylene propylene. So that's aroma. But that aroma comes from the soil, then soil test, soil analysis. All these are mandatory. So that is a scientific parameter which leads to the uniqueness and ultimately to the GI. So that's when we work for the turmeric, we collected the scientific reports with respect to the curcumin. So when we work for the Varda's Vaigaon turmeric, where we found the curcumin content is 6.24. When we work for the Bivapur chili, we collected the spice, that particularly Asta value, that is again the color. So in short, the uniqueness with the help of scientific support need to be covered in your application. And the lastly is inspection body. A big challenge is of the selection of the product, but it's not remained now because of the several region, because of the gazetteer published by the district collector. He need to collect the information from the respective department. So if you have an agriculture department, then you can submit your report like, okay, this is a unique product, this is famous in local market, and then since many years and etc., that is a starting point. And then Slowly you can go into deep and then collect the more supportive evidences, and then you cover your application, and then you submit your application. If you don't get registration, then what will happen? We have discussed many aspects of geographical indication before. This is what had happened with the Darjeeling tea, a famous Nepal produced cheap tea and used to sell Darjeeling tea. Then after that, we took a severe actions against the Nepal tea, and they are not using nowadays Darjeeling tea. In real sense, Darjeeling fought 16 cases for fake use of Darjeeling tea name. So those data is available on Google if you could click on that. I'm just giving you here is an example. If you don't have GI, you will not enforce. Even you may have the unique product. That's the things. So that is what also for the Banarasi nowadays Bangladesh issue is going on, and you all know that this is a reason. This is actually old news when still have relevance in today's world. Basically, they manufacture the sari and selling the sari in the name of Bangladesh. Now I would like to touch the most aspect. We know champagne, we know Scotch whisky, but we are not aware of the fact there are many unique alcoholic beverages in India are uh, entitled for the GI. And I personally work for the 7 different type of alcoholic beverages. When we work for these various alcoholic beverages from the different part of in India. We work for there in Ladakh, we work there in uh, uh, Assam, and then at Maharashtra border. So while working on this product, we found Charak Seta, and this Sanskrit shloka, which was our support for the historical evidence, particularly Kintu Madhyam Sabhavenam Yate Vanam Tathasmatam Ayukti Yukta Roganam Yukti Yuktam Yathamritam. The meaning you will find here, but alcohol by nature is like a good. This is from this is from the Charak Samhita. In consumption and giving energy, when used inappropriately is for getting disease. When you use appropriately is like a nectar. So this was our starting point when we work for these different GIs. Sur is from Uttarakhand, we work. Jagran is from Bodoland, we work. Chang from the Chang from the Ladakh, we work. And Mahua from the Maharashtra, we work. Jaghishi and Maibra Jaghishi, those are the rice beer we work for. So just imagine we have a natural energy drinks by our uh, indigenous people, but unfortunately we have uh, remain unaware of these various unique products. Those are much better than the international GIs. I'm not going to tell the name which we have discussed in the beginning. This is what the impact after the GI is received to the alcoholic beverage or rice beer, whatever local indigenous unique product. Goa Feni received the GI, and then the government of Goa introduced a penny policy in 2021 that will help the producer, that will also be a source for the government, and now it's in force there in Goa. What is the economics and particularly price comparative factor or table here? I would like to share with you all. On left hand side, where you will find liquor, tequila, Scotch whiskey, champagne receive the GI, but the unique product from India called Sur or Chang, as I say, Jagishi, Jabidwi or Moa. And if you see the type, alcoholic, of course, distill and all. If you see the price on the extreme end, you'll find uh, we are nowhere. So 50 rupees as compared to 4,000, because untapped, unrecognized, but much better than the available GI. So here is we have to play we will have to bridge the gap to take these products to the right platform. Apart from that, I think I have already crossed my time 45 minutes was given to me, and it's 49 minutes. I'll finish in 5 minutes. So these are the various products which I have worked for the as a GI. You will find this violin, this lot of violin. It's a Serja. We work for this, and you enjoy. I request you all to search on Google the music, compose music by Serja and Sipang and Calm. They compile amazing. You'll get a lot of peace. That's our ancestors are so intelligent, and they developed such a good musical instrument to give you peace. And I work for all these 5 musical instruments from the Bodoland, and you are requested to use that. Apart from that, these are the textile which for which I have worked. It may Dokona, Arunai, Patani Sari, Eri silk. Eri silk, that particular Eri silk enjoy the uh, like particularly that you can keep it for 170 years. And this Eri silk is a Ahimsa silk. The silk from the place from this silk won't die. So that's the Ahimsa silk. There's a big market for this. Jimra is another textile warfare. Cuisine, we have also worked for this particular different traditional cuisines from the India. So onla, bursida, gaka gaki, ranya roti, renuka mata, tambul, and nafam. Nafam is a fermented fish. You can keep this fish for 3 years without using any preservative. So that kind of, and naturally from the borderland, from the Assam. So that's the advantage you have for this sales. What we did it? We began as a great mission for the GI. That's why our organization's name is a Great Mission Group Consultancy for. Of course, we work for the patent. We work for the IIT's patent. We work for the many individuals' patent. But for us, GI is a great mission. We began with the awareness for a couple of years. Then we registered, as I said, first registration was in 2007 with Pune Pagdi, then 2009 with the Mahabaleshwar Strawberry. Immediately after 2 years in 2011, we started gifting the GI to various national and international platforms. So that is another milestone for us. Further, we took the GI to the international forum, and we displayed the internationally. The success story at our ends are huge, but I just wanted to cover few of them. As mentioned in the beginning about the Pune Pagdi, we received GI in 2007. During that period itself, we requested University of Pune to replace the convocation hood with the Pune Pagdi. In 2020, they began Pune Pagdi to replace a convocation hood. And today you will find there will be a 5 lakhs Pagdi's demand, and mainly the women artisans are involved. So what I can say in today's AI-driven challenge world, GI will help you to support, to create an employment, to do the business. So there are many success stories, as I mentioned. Raising from the Sangli, we got registered GI. After that, received 4-time prize. Jalgaon banana. Tandalwadi is the small village from the Jalgaon, received 12 crore plus export order because of the GI, and this news has been covered by the PIP. Golwad Chiku from the Dahanu, the first area where the Chiku was started cultivating in India in 1888, became a famous for the Chiku, and then this Chiku enjoys more calcium content and etc. After the GI registration, this many startup from the area started manufacturing Chiku powders, Chiku chips, and one gentle lady also started producing Chiku wines, and she started called Chiku Parlor over there. So that's the another set. So your GI, your product, your unique product is not only helping you, but to many youngsters to start their own businesses. This Chiku directly also started exporting. Marathwada, we know that area, high suicide rate of farmers. After the GI registration, you will find they also received the export order. But this year, they said we will not export our product because they are getting the much better price than the export market in the domestic market itself. So that was the revolutions after the GI for the Marathwada mission. Vigo turmeric received a big order because of the GI what we have resisted. Strawberry, I have already spoke about the strawberry. Of course, two big industries are there now. You will find their name Balas and Mapros. This is a rice, non-basmati aromatic rice we work called Ajra Ghansar. I work for 4 different type non-basmati aromatic rice. One is Ambemor, second is Ajra, third is Vada Kolam, and fourth one is a Bandara Chinno. Those are unique by its own natures. This rice after the GI received a good market, and the ultimate production is increased. Of course, the revolution which we began in 2003 received recognitions from government of India in 2015 and 2016 with 2 consecutive national awards. Immediately we have started GI drive, and I urge the participant to start such kind of initiative at their own end. They can start the GI drive. Many places patent drive is already been begun, but GI drive is required. So that after the GI drive there in IIT Kharagpur, which we started, immediately a Rasgulla from the Odisha got the GI. And you will find that the entire session is available in IIT Kharagpur's website. I request you, there are many videos, more than say 90 videos, different sessions in Marathi, in Hindi, or in English. Majorly in Marathi, you will find I have published through the YouTube channel called Ganesh Hingmire only, that is accessible. And this lecture is also, GI Drive lecture is also there in that video. What we have to do, think globally, act individually. Yes, GI Act enacted in India because of the WTO. Yes, this is a law. The law is in English, but what we did it, we started writing the various articles in Marathi to reach to the ultimate beneficiary called community, that is agrarian community. So after that, after the series of articles, hundreds of articles, we compiled many articles of them in a book form, and we published the book in Marathi called GI Manankan in the Rajbhavan. And now this book is available in Book Ganga, and also audio book. So if you don't have a time to read the book, then while traveling also you listen the article in a ebook format. So whatever possible at our end as an individual, we begin maybe writing articles in a local language, maybe writing a book, or maybe ebooks. That is from our side. We further, to strengthen the GI mission, we have collaborated with Central Agriculture University, then VAMDICOM in Pune, IPFC in Gujarat, and all. So because of that, we are able to work in 9 states. We conducted the session in 29 states in India. However, we work for the 9 states, and we intend to work. See, there is a potential of 10,000 GI from India itself, and that need to be tapped with proper mission mode. And I will share you my article published in Education Post, where we have covered that India has a potential to register the 10,000, but we have just now 600 plus. So a small initiative at our end, and we would like to continue. This is a status at India level. Highest GIs are agriculture GIs from Maharashtra. You will find, and I have had an opportunity to work for the 92% of the agriculture GIs from the Maharashtra, which is amounting to 25% at the India level. This is what the India perspective or contribution at Maharashtra, Bodoland, then Assam, and all. Last slide here. Just registration won't help. So what we began, we contacted government of India, government of Maharashtra, and requested them to procure the GI product. And government of Maharashtra started, particularly Marfed is government of Maharashtra agency, started procuring 11 GI registered product, including Nandurbar, Nawapur tur dal, then jawar from the Mangalveda, etc. So this is what the third phase began, and maybe with the help of Premnath sir, maybe with the help of NCL Venture Center, maybe with the help of a participant, we would like to take this venture ahead, this mission ahead, to take the take the benefit to the community, to the consumer, and ultimately nation at large. With this, thank you very much for an opportunity, sir. Thank you very much. To particularly take this subject to the right audience. Thanks a lot. And
Thank you, Professor Hingmire. I think that was, I do appreciate all your efforts in taking these GIs to market, but I thought we should keep a few minutes for questions. So I thought I'll request you to give some brief answers to a few questions which have come up in the chat box and which I have as well. Okay. So maybe can I get started on the questions?
yes, sir, please, sir.
Yeah. So I think one of the things which people want to understand is first I'll start with a simple question. How does a GI tag look like, right? Are there any global national norms for how a GI tag should be displayed on the product label? This is from Bipin Deshpande.
Yeah. See, nowadays, government of India introduced the logo, GI logo, which you can use once you receive the GI.
Yeah, you have a back.
Yeah.
I think you have it in one of the previous slides, just
Yeah.
2 slides back.
And further, at individual product also, when you submit your application, you also registered your logo. Like I said if you see the my slide there in Darjeeling on the left side, you will see the Darjeeling Tea's logo. So that belongs to Darjeeling Tea, and the association of person need to register their logo, and through that you can identify your products or your genuine product or GI registered product.
Yeah. There's another question from Vidya which asks, what is the process to obtain registration of GI in countries other than India, and is Indian priority honored in other countries?
Yeah, I've covered in my slide, but let me summarize. Once you have identified the product, you submit an application to the GI registry there in Chennai. Formality check report will be issued. You have to reply within 2 months. Then there will be a consultative group meeting chaired by the registrar. Experts from the domain would be there, not more than 7, and then they will ascertain your product and application, and then based on that, they will accept your application. The normal process is, I mean, the timeline is 6 months to 2 years, sometimes 3 years, depend on the complexity of the applications. I have also given the particulars of the GI application, like an applicant details, and then specification, uniqueness, inspection body, etc. need to be covered. So that is
I think
actually
the question was more about outside India, right? In other
yeah,
countries other than India,
correct.
how does it happen? And is the Indian priority honored if one files in India or gets a
Then
GI registered in India? Will it get honored elsewhere? And I will just add one more line. How do say Darjeeling tea people enforce it? Suppose say Sri Lankan tea uses Darjeeling tea. How is it actually done in practice?
Actually, this is a very important question, and we say, as I said, India enacted GI Act because of the WTO. So it's a kind of a platform for us to go to the other member countries. There is a protection called PGI, Protected Geographical Indication, and only Darjeeling tea and Kangra tea received the PGI. We also applied for the Basmati, but unfortunately, Pakistan also applied, and hence the issue is still unresolved. Yes, I mentioned again, out of 643, less than 600 from the India, but like champagne, Scotch whiskey, feta cheese, they received the Indian status. So because of their registration, they enter into our country, and because of our GI registration, we have also entered into their market. So advantage, before we go to the advantage, the first essential requirement is the GI registration at your country is important. And then second, PGI, Protected Geographical Indication, there in European Union, and of course certification mark there in US and other countries. So the essential requirement again is the GI registration in India, and then you are entitled to take into the abroad with the help of the available international arrangements like a TRIPS agreement, and there is a Lisbon agreement also, but India is not a member of the Lisbon agreement. That's for the international protection of the geographical indication.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's, I think, good. Um, the other, a couple of quick questions as well. I think the most difficult part in the GI must be putting the association together, right? So, and that must be a lot of the work where you have to gather all the people and there must be the politics around it and so on. I thought I'll ask you about your experience, and there must be conflicts as well, right? Between different communities, different groups, different regions and so on. So, what has been your experience, and how have you handled that in terms of, because it will be given to an organization, so somebody has
Yeah,
to first
yeah,
get the
correct.
organization together. Also, how do you build the credibility around that organization so that it is truly representative of that region?
Yeah. Again, a very good question, sir. An association of person can be an applicant, as we discussed. So, unlike other intellectual property, here is the challenge you have to do. You'll have to do particularly a field work. You'll have to go there. You'll have to check the genuineness of the applicant, particularly, uh, and of course, they have to be registered. But it does not mean if they applied, they are the whole and the sole owner of the GI. There are two registration, Part A and Part B. Part A is for the registered proprietor. So if you have two or three organization in particular place, and if one organization became an applicant initially, and second organizations remain untouched. But after the GI registration to the first organization, second organization can apply for the Part B registration, that is an authorized users registration, which is equal to the Part A. So you'll have to convince them, and someone need to take an initiative to form an association, and the legal status is required. Maybe a society, maybe a trust, maybe a cooperative, or sometime maybe an FPO, etc. Or Atma registration is also equally important. As you rightly said, it's a big challenge. Unfortunately, in India, 60% initially application was submitted by the government authorities, like a Darjeeling tea was submitted by the tea board, Basmati registration was done by the APEDA. So nowadays they've changed the policy, only and only respective producers can file the GI applications. That's it.
Hmm. Okay.
Dr. Premnath, before
Yeah.
you take further questions, just alerting the audience, there are two important announcements in the chat box. One is about the feedback for today's talk. So please do give your feedback for this talk, which we will close in some time. And second important announcement is that we are preponing the next talk. Earlier we had announced that it will be on 21st of Jan, Tuesday, but we are preponing it to 14th of Jan, which is also Tuesday at 4 o'clock. And the topic is uh, investor side due diligence for startup IP. So please note the change. We will also send you emails and WhatsApp messages. Yeah, Dr. Premnath, over to you.
Okay. Great. So there are many more, of course, comments, but I'll just take a few. And of course, there are some people who have benefited immensely from your efforts, Ganesh, in setting up, getting GIs. And I can understand that it is really important for the local regions. So one question around the economics of it. So the real benefit of these GIs accrue to the local, say, association of farmers and so on and so forth, right? Who have gotten together. But how do you do they finance this whole process of getting GIs, or how is it actually done? I know that you do it as a mission. You're very passionate about it, but is there is there an economy around it? Are there career opportunities in GI? Which is also a question which somebody has asked about in the chat box.
There is a huge career opportunity for in GI. I said 10,000 GIs. I request them to search on Google Ganesh Hingmire an article, and then they will find the education post where I've covered 10,000 potential GIs are there and hardly 500 from the India. So 9,500 who are going to register. Those who know GI, those who are ready to go to the field work, those who are ready to draft a GI application, those who wish to contribute to the rural economy, to the Vikasit Bharat, and of course, Government of India, particularly Ministry of MSME and many other ministries also started supporting the GI process. NABARD started supporting the GI process. We work for the Department of Horticulture. We work for the Department of Horticulture. We work through the World Bank project. So internationally also, because of this SDG goal, Sustainable Development Goal, United Nations is also started these things. UNCTAD also started supporting. So there is a huge opportunity for, career opportunities, and support system is also possible right now, and need a proper venture. So just recently, I was a part of the GI policy, National GI policy, and Government of India decided to register 5,000 GI initially. So here, a big opportunity. So for at least 5 to 10 years. But of course, you may be a professional, but you need to go to the field work. Without that, you won't get proper. I mean, there are many applications pending based on just secondary data, but secondary data won't help. A recent example, when we work for one Alfonso, the tree area we counted that's 150-year-old tree. So that helped us to provide the evidence because of the field work. So unfortunately, India is lacking behind of certain kind of a documentation part, and in that scenario, and in general, your field work provides you a good inputs, strengthening your application, and that leads to the success of your applications. I think one
And
hand is
usually,
there.
and usually your associations will fund this activity.
See, we are a IPR firm and also leading to that. But I said, Ministry of MSME, IPFC, they have policy. I mentioned NABARD. I also mentioned that district collector, you have to submit the proposal to the respective district collector, and based on that, they'll support the cause, and we are there as a knowledge partner. We are there to register. What we called ourselves sometimes professionally equipped and emotionally involved way. We do this mission for the GI.
Yeah. I think we may not have time to take all the questions, but I just wanted to close out asking you generally about one is, of course, you have your address on the screen, and I'm sure people can connect with you if they have some specific questions or requests for GIs in their region and so on, which I think there's one online as well, which is from Kashmir as well. But are there any today? Do you see these GI tags being used very well for financial benefits, or is it still something which is, it's under promoted, and therefore it is not as visible, and the connectivity or the people don't understand the value it is creating for them, for their region?
See, actually, thanks for again this question. Say particularly, there is a positive impact. I have already covered success stories from my end with respect to Jalgaon banana, with respect to Marathwada Kesher mango. After that, Government of India started giving a platform, and there is a possibility to change this HS code also for export purpose for the GIs. So that is possibility. However, big challenge is there also with respect to the traceability, and Government of India is working on that. I have been in touch with the QCI, that Quality Council of India. Yes, lots of efforts are required, and where institute like a venture center, NCL, need to come forward And that's why we have tied up with the Central Agriculture University, with Memnicom, and with various incubation center, and where we can get the support as a setup of the lab or scientific support system, there we can authenticate, more authenticity can be uh, created through that stamp, and then ultimately it will control the fake product, etc.
Okay, we'll just give two people a chance to ask questions directly.
Yeah.
So I've asked Khan Mukhtar Ahmed to ask his question first. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hello,
Briefly, yeah, please go ahead. Ask your question.
I'm audible.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, sir.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir.
Okay, good day, Mr. Ganesh Hingmire. How are you, sir?
I'm good, sir. Good, sir. Thank you. Nice
I'm
to see you
Mukhtar
from
Khan from
Kashmir, huh?
Kashmir. Yeah,
Yeah,
we are
please go ahead.
already
Ask your
very happy
question,
that
please.
my point is that we have just discovered an innovative grapes from Kashmir. Last time, Director ICR NRC visited us here in Kashmir, and he has seen the grapes from Kashmir innovative throughout the world. Its size is big, its color is the best in the world. So they are researching on it that how it can be GI tagged, because you have a peculiarity in our grapes which is present in Gandharbal. World over, its size is big, its color is very tasty. So I have just requested Director Horticulture to just proceed ahead to just go for this GI tagging, and they were already telling me that we have already processed the case. My farmers are interested. They want to do it because government generally takes a lot of time. My farmers want to get it done. What could be done?
See, if the product is from particular region and the product enjoy the uniqueness, and of course there is an history. One thing need to understand, if you have a unique product and that is recently developed, then won't get a GI. It has to
Yes,
has a particularly history, particularly say 50 years, 100 years, like a saffron from
it
Kashmir,
is more
and
than 600 years old variety. Six
how
hundred
many
year old
years?
variety.
How many years?
600 years old.
Then definitely entitled for GI. I would be happy to contribute.
Yes. I have just requested director also. They proceed ahead, but my farmers were very. I told them that I personally know Ganesh Hingmire. I will request him. He can guide us. Thank you very much.
Sure,
Yeah,
sir.
God bless you.
yeah. Thank you.
You are a
Thank you.
torch bearer. You are a torch bearer for all of us.
Thank you, sir.
God bless you. God
Uh,
bless you.
I've just also unmuted Balvinder Singh Such. You can go ahead next, and then we'll close after this. Okay, please go ahead.
So my question is, like in Punjab, we have only one GI, that is Fulkari. So at that time, I was working in science and technology, and I was initiated this process to register this GI. But after that, I've left that organization. But now that there are few authorized users, now I am trying to bring into pictures, like there are many people who are working on this Fulkari as embroidery. But like individual, they are asking, like there are many self-help groups which are working on this GI. If self-help group or NGO can be registered as an authorized user, or only individuals are allowed to be registered as authorized user?
See, individual as well as self-help group and NGO all can entitled to become an authorized users. Either individually or collectively, they may get authorized users. However, it is better to submit individual application because it won't uh, require much amount, and it's also help to identify. For an example, if you have a 10 women are working for certain art, if they register themselves as a self-help group, and if they get authorized users as a common, either of them did did not follow particularly the process, because one of the essential particulars of the GI is the method of production. And if either of them fail to follow the standard method of production, and the ultimate product did not become a particular, say, a unique one, or as per the submitted one, so in that case the entire group will be affected. So better to ask them to submit individual authorized users application. About Punjab, I have conducted session there in Chandigarh, and insisted so many times, even submitted the details to Department of Industry and all. of course, they need to start. IPFC can do that. Then other institute can do that, and I will be happy to contribute.
So only one question, like still NOC is required from the proprietor or not?
Not necessarily, not
Not
required nowadays.
Okay,
Actually,
thank you.
affidavit serves the purpose. Affidavit, previously even affidavit, today also affidavit is not required. However, NOC from the facilitator, like your department is giving an NOC. If your department is officially a part of a application, a facilitator's NOC will serve the purpose. Otherwise, there will be an hearing by GI registry where they will cross examine with the applicant, and they will issue based on the evidences available with the applicant.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, great. Thank you, Professor Hingmire. I think you have reached 5:15. I don't want to so I don't want to take more of your time. But thank you so much for agreeing to visit us to do this talk for all our the entire network. So thank you very much, and I'll hand it over to Mugdha now to close. Yeah, do fill up the feedback form, please, everybody.
Thank you,
We do
Professor.
share it with the speakers as well.
So thanks once again on behalf of the Venture Center team. And the feedback link is there. Also alerting everyone. The next talk is on the immediate Tuesday, which is 14th of Jan at 4 o'clock itself, on Tuesday, 14th of Jan. And the talk title is Only Investor Side Due Diligence for Startup IP. Our next speaker is Dr. Madhuri Roy. So please do, you will get an email update about joining, but there is no talk on 21st of Jan. It has been preponed to 14th of Jan. Take a note of this and do not leave the session without giving your feedback. Thank you very much again, once again.